I'm Zach,
And I'm Lindsay.
and today we're going to be talking about that PlayStation 5 Teardown.
So, to start off, we're going to just kind of break some of the stuff down. And one thing I think is pretty interesting about this console is this is actually going to be the first console that comes with a stand. And you can actually use the stand in two positions. A lot of the previous ones always came, or you had to buy a stand separate to have it stand vertical. This one, due to its unique shape, you actually have to have the stand to put it horizontal as well. So I think that's kind of a little bit different, but kind of cool looking. I definitely think it looks a lot
Yeah,
better standing vertical than horizontal, though.
yeah, I do, and it's nice that it comes with the stand. It's not like hey, you need it, but you're gonna have to buy it separately. And also, the stand itself has a neat little compartment within it to where it stores like either the special bolt or special nut to where you can loosen it to remove it and move it to whichever side you prefer. So they've really thought that through, just on something as simple as the stand.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell it's got a lot of engineering even poured into that. Because not only does it have that little thing there, the stand actually twists and augments for when you have it on its side versus when you have it vertically. So it's a really interesting concept because it's very dual use.
Yeah.
Another really interesting thing, and this continues on with stuff Sony's done in the past, is they will have non-proprietary storage upgrades. So what this means is instead of like having to buy a PlayStation brand hard drive to upgrade your storage space, you can buy whichever one is cheapest as long as it's compatible for the specs. So you'll probably end up saving some money on this, but it also looks like it's going to be a little bit trickier to put in. So comparing this to the Xbox Series X, which looks like just memory cards you can put in, but they are proprietary, so they're going to be a little bit more expensive. Those you just put into a slot. However, with the PlayStation, looks like you take one of the face plates off, undo one screw, and gives you access to this section. And I think they said it can have um, three little slots to put new hard drives in. So it looks like you'll have a lot of expansion capabilities with this.
Yeah, I like that they're going the opposite route of Microsoft by not using proprietary. And Sony got a lot of crap about that before with the PlayStation Vita. Like 2 weeks before, maybe 3 or 4 weeks before the Vita went on sale, they announced the prices for their SD cards that were only compatible with the Vita. You couldn't, they were like special ones. And they were like, I think I bought my Vita at launch for however much it cost, and I bought a 16 gigabyte SD card, and it was $80, and that was like insanely expensive for such a small price. And so I think that they got a lot of crap for that. So I'm glad that they're not going proprietary. Xbox can do that; it's fine. It's proprietary, but they went for convenience. You just kind of plug it in like a normal memory card back in the old days. But now with Sony, they you kind of got to dig a little, but you are going to find better prices on third party SSDs. Also, it gives you more options, so you're not just stuck with what's available. If you want to run to the GameStop or run to Best Buy to pick up a storage unit for your Xbox Series X, if they don't have it, you're kind of SOL. But with PlayStation, sure, you may not be able to find it at a Joe Schmo shop, but you can at least you have multiple different options. So I do prefer the solution that PlayStation has over Xbox.
Yeah, I've actually upgraded the storage capacity on both my PlayStation 3 and 4. It is a little bit more of a chore, but I definitely feel like it gives you more freedom to explore different options. So if you wanted to get just, a ton of storage space and really buy a super high end drive, one that might not be economical for them to produce mass scale, you can do that. And at the same time, if you want to get a cheaper option just for a little bit of extra storage space, you can do that as well. So it pretty well has your back on both sides, which I think is really appreciated.
Yeah, and that you do also have the option of the USB. Now they do say that you can't play games off of the USB, but you can still store it and then transfer it over. And transferring from a USB 3.1 or no USB 3.0 external hard drive to the actual SSD would be much faster than like downloading it again. So they still that's another you can the games that you aren't really focusing on you can throw on the hard drive, and so that way you can have all the games you're currently playing on your SSD, take advantage of the speeds and everything, and then you can just transfer in and out whichever ones you want to play. Not
Yeah, and with
ideal, but
the high speed USB drive or USB ports they have, it'd be a real easy thing to essentially drag and drop and swap things around in order to play them. And
yeah,
speaking
I
of
think
USB,
USB.
the PlayStation 5 is going to have one standard USB port on the front, a high speed port, and one high speed USB Type C port on the front, and two high speed USB ports on the back. So this one's actually going to come with more USB ports than the PlayStation 4 did, which I find pretty interesting. But this also means it's still going to be compatible with a lot of the other devices you already have and are used to, like the PlayStation VR as it is now, and if you have flight sticks or other things you can use to plug in will probably continue to be supported throughout the next generation, which is always good to see.
Yeah, choosing to go with USB 3.0 is it's good. I think the max download for USB 3.0 is 10 gigabytes. I think it can do up to 10 gigabytes download, which is a lot faster than what they were using. I could be completely wrong, but I think the USB that was on the PS4 was like maybe 1 to 2 gigabytes download, and so the 3.0 is definitely gonna kick it up a notch, and it is good that they have a little bit more options. Having the one up front for anything, the two on the back, one of them could be used for, let's say, the external hard drive, so you can kind of hide it so it's not up front. It's exciting to see, like, of course this is on both consoles. What the little small things they're adding, but the download speeds you're going to be getting. Speaking of that, the wireless 6, which is I believe faster than what's in the Series X. So the PS5 is going to have a much faster wireless system, which is awesome because Sony's never really had the best ones. I think PS3 was really good, but the PS4 was like just utter crap. So it's really nice that they've gotten a higher quality wireless adapter. And then along with that, we have Bluetooth 5.1, which the rumors going around on the internet is that that is basically setting up and semi confirming that if they were to do a PSVR second model, that we'd be getting a wireless one, which, I mean, that sounds good.
Yeah, no, I love PlayStation VR, but I do have to say, like, especially with games where you're up and moving around, and if you're sitting in a chair and you happen to tilt the chair, the cord will get stuck. It would be great to see a wireless VR headset model.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Also, it looks like the faceplates on the side are going to be easily removable. So it looks like there's going to be a lot more options in customizing your PlayStation than we've really seen on any PlayStation. I think the closest comparison to this has probably been the Xbox 360, where they had easily removable and
Yeah.
changeable faceplates. So this is kind of something I think is a bit interesting that can really give you the ability to customize the look of your PlayStation to suit your living room or just to suit your style in general. Another really interesting breakthrough they've done is the new liquid metal thermal paste. And from what they're saying is that this will have better cooling and it'll be a lot longer lasting, And I think a lot of this is designed to fight the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 era of the thermal paste coming uncoupled from the CPU and really just messing everything up. That's where we started getting all the red rings and blue screens of death on the PlayStation and Xbox. And I know that was a big problem for both companies for a while. Not so much this
Yeah.
generation, but it looks like Sony's come up with a new technique to try and make sure that never happens again.
Yeah, it's nice that they're taking so far of a step to, make sure. And there's other things, with the fan and the installation and how it's just how it's overall designed, but with the liquid metal thermal paste that sounds crazy, and I'm not quite sure exactly what that is or what it does, but if they're confident, and Mark Cerny, and the on the PlayStation blog, the video they did of the actual teardown, he is like the head of development for the actual like researching what to do for the console, and Mark Cerny, he's more of the tech guy. But them working together, coming up with this solution, it sounds good. One thing that you always have to worry about is the how long is it going to last? Is it going to wear out over time? Or are we going to hit 4 years and all of a sudden everyone's liquid metal thermal paste is going to start drying up, or is there going to be some there's probably going to be something that goes wrong, but hopefully not, because this is kind of a new thing.
Should we be worried that the liquid metal will pool together and form a Terminator and kill us all?
I mean, maybe Sony is secretly Skynet and we just don't know
Maybe. And
it.
I guess one of the last things to look at too is this console is really big. I mean, we've all seen the size comparisons and charts and stuff, but actually seeing it next to a person on a table, I mean, this is like pretty much the size of like a full PC. Like, this is getting really big.
Another thing is that the Blu-ray drive is going to be double insulated, so that way when it's reading the disc off the drive, you actually won't hear it. I mean, just possible that you're going to hear it a little bit, especially if it's quiet in the house. But overall noise, ambient background stuff should drown it out, which that's really awesome. That they're going so far as to like we need to make sure that this is quiet as possible. I have a PS4 Pro. I have one of the first iterations of the PS4 Pro that has the terrible fan noise, and it sounds like a jet's about to take off. So this is going to be a warm welcome to finally switch on, something, and then have it play for more than 30 minutes without it sounding like it's about to shoot missiles at me.
Yeah, I definitely think the PlayStation 4 has achieved a bit of a reputation for being very loud, especially when playing games of high graphical fidelity. And I think that's something they put a lot of focus in trying to get away from. If you look at, all the heatsink stuff, all the extra layering to try and quiet everything. So I imagine they're really trying to make sure that's not something they get stuck with again.
And lastly, Sony has come out and spoken a little bit more on the backwards compatibility features of the PS5. Unfortunately, it seems like the rumors are true. PS1, PS2, and PS3 won't be playable on the PS5, which sounds bad, but realistically, I don't think anyone's going to be that upset about it. Now, the good thing about this is that with the PS4, initially they were saying the top 100 games would be playable on the PS5, and a lot of people were upset about that because they want more than just that. Luckily, they've come out and officially said that pretty much every game except for 10 will be playable on the PS5, and of those 10, none of them are really worth worrying about. Some of them are even games that I've never even heard of. So I think the most of note game is Hitman Go Definitive Edition, which I mean, like that's a bummer for some people, but that's not that big of a deal.
Deal
And
breaking. No longer
luckily,
buying a PlayStation
yeah,
5.
yeah, I know. I mean, you can get Hitman Go everywhere else, but if you want to play on the PS5, you're no, it's not going to work. But they did confirm that saves will transfer over, which is they're leaving it up to a developer, but by the developer. So some games might be a bit of an issue. Like there's a with Yakuza 7 that comes out this November. It comes out on Xbox Series X, S, the Xbox One consoles, and PS4 and PC. And the PS5 version doesn't come out until March. And if you buy it on PS4, you get the upgrade for free when it comes out in March, but your save doesn't transfer, and they haven't explained why. And that worries me because if that's at a system level, that's a little difficult to do. There could be some developers that are like, look, we don't have the time or resources to look into that and do that. We could run into a situation where we pick up Cyberpunk and play it on the PS5, but it's of course the PS4 version. Will come June next year when CD Projekt Red releases the PlayStation 5 version. You get it for free if you bought the PS4 version, but what if your save doesn't transfer? There's multiple reasons for that. It could be the changes they make to the PS5 version are so great that they can't go back and retroactively update your save file. That technology is too crazy. They can't actually do that. That could be an issue. So other than that, I mean, being able to have all the games transfer over, and of course they did say that some of the PS4 titles on PS5 will be made better by Game Boost, but they haven't explained what that is exactly. One example that we do have of that is that Ghost of Tsushima will be playable on PS5 with up to 60 frames per second. But I don't. They didn't say like, oh, Game Boost is going to do that for every game. Is it up to the developers? Is it just a proprietary or not proprietary? Is it just a systems based level of upgrading? They didn't actually say what that was. They just said Game Boost, and so really don't know what that is. Hopefully, we'll hear more about it in the coming weeks. Closer to launch, which is coming up in about a month. So it's good news, but not enough news.
Well, tell us what you guys think about the PlayStation 5 Teardown in the comments down below. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.